Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Roadblock. Um, so today I really wanted to cover kind of what I talked about in the last video because I definitely ruffled some feathers and um, it's a little over the top some of the responses that I got. I want to be clear about something, guys. I'm not ignoring Doom Tower hard. So let's keep in mind my roster, okay? I have Armands. I have Newt. For the most part, I'm gonna have most of the bosses figured out. Um, Going into Doom Tower, and waves are mostly figured out because I have Armands. I also have Seer, and I will soon have Archmage Helmet to give Seer uh buffs to get rid of. So I'm really not like worried about Doom Tower hard. Maybe that's the better term to use. I feel confident. The biggest thing I need to find success in Doom Tower hard is a cleanser. Now, I do have cleansers on the account. I would be lying if I said I didn't. We do a quick, and I'm going to include anyone in the vault too. I don't think I have any in there, but still, just to make sure we talk about this. So, these are the cleansers that I have. Now, some of these are niche, right? He only removes fear. Ugo only removes one debuff and a heal reduction. Spirit Host cleanses everything and gives block debuffs, but it's on a 5-turn. Not really reliable. And she's a rare, which kind of brings down the value a little bit. The best cleanser that I currently have, in my opinion, on the roster is Reliquary Tender. Reliquary Tender can do this on a 3-turn cooldown. It removes all buffs and brings a little bit of extra healing, plus a 1-person revive, and the baby version of decreased attack. The thing of it is, like, I'm about to get somebody better. And I've made it this far without a cleanser, right? And I'm very, very close to Mithrala. And Mithrala's better. So I don't think anybody would, disagree that Mithrala is better than Reliquary Tender. There are some drawbacks, if I'm being honest with myself, about Mithrala. First of all, it'll be on a 5-turn cooldown probably for a long time. I don't get as many legendary books. I get a lot more now that I'm doing Ultra Nightmare, but I still don't get as many, which makes it harder to level up all the legendaries I have. And I have quite a few that I want to level up, right? So I really kind of want to wait for Mithrala and her clans, which also would bring me a big shield. There's a boss that specifically needs shields on everybody when they attack, as well as a strengthen, which will just improve my damage resistance even further, right? And then of course we also bring increased defense and increased attack. We do get the passive for petrification for wave to help even further with the wave clear. So I guess what I meant to say is if I was to go hard on Doom Tower hard right now, and by the way, Doom Tower, I'm doing fine in. This is normal, of course, but I haven't hit any, pardon the puns, but I have, or whatever you want to call it, but I haven't hit any roadblocks up here, right? I have been cruising through normal, and I already know that when I get to hard, I am probably going to get to the 3rd boss, and this is where I'm gonna have a problem, because that boss needs a cleanser, because there's a lot of poisons going out and they will eat me up very, very quickly. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm referring to. I wasn't trying to say I'm not stupid. Okay, I understand that I say stupid things or I say things that I don't mean, but I'm not dumb. I'm not just going to not do Doom Tower hard. I am going to do Doom Tower hard to as far as I can get. But the reality is that the champion I need to get further in Doom Tower Hard, I already know this because with the same Spider was the third boss or second boss in the last rotation, something like that. I don't know exactly what, but that was my stop. That was my stopping point in Doom Tower Hard last rotation. Um, so I know what I need, and I don't really want a rare to be the one that I use. Call me crazy. I'm not saying Reliquary Tender won't ever get built. I'm just not really interested in building her right now, and I'm probably wrong in that fact, but that's the decision that I'm making. So I'm not sitting here saying, like, I'm never going to do Doom Tower hard, or I'm not going to do it even this rotation. I'm not just going to finish normal and then kick my feet up and say, cool. I'm saying that the champions that I currently need, because guys, Newt is 6 stars. He kills almost every boss by himself in Doom Tower, right? Armand's will be 6-starred soon and deals with almost every wave clear in Doom Tower. Not, I'm not worried about Doom Tower hard. But, so, everybody chill. I mean, the comment that I saw was non-constructive and direct, like, insulting. I actually deleted it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to say that on here because I've never done that before. It's the first time I've ever deleted a comment. But I sat there and was probably spent like 20 minutes typing a response and realized that it was stupid of me to respond, and if I leave it there, I'm gonna see it nonstop. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. It was completely unconstructive. And it's my fault. I want to be clear about this. I'm not blaming the person's comment. Honestly, I have no issue with what they said. Given, I didn't go back and listen to my words, but I obviously portrayed a person or the way that I worded things made you guys think I'm not going to do Doom Tower hard or something, and that's just not the case at all. It's not. I'm just waiting for Mithrala, really, is probably the better way to put it. But I do want to say a couple more things to extend my point here about Faction Wars and why Faction Wars is good. Everyone may think Faction Wars is good for different reasons, okay? Let's take some time to really analyze this. And I want to be clear with you guys. I put Faction Wars off until the very last thing I did on my main account. I had Doom Tower hard cleared. I had Hydra cleared until up to Brutal, I think, or maybe hard by the time that I had finished Faction Wars in all the factions. So I get where you guys are coming from. Here's the difference from for a free-to-play account, and this is very important. And I don't know if I've emphasized this enough. Maybe you guys don't even know how weak I am in Faction Wars right now. Let's look at Knights Rev, okay? I'm getting only rare and epic materials. I'm not down here at stage 13 getting the legendary materials, okay? Banner Lords. I'm getting 3. Okay, so Banner Lords isn't as bad, but we also are stacked in Banner Lords because we have Ursula to help carry us, as well as Rathalos now. And even Lady Annabelle is doing a lot. That reminds me of one last thing. I'm sorry to go back to Doom Tower because I wanted to talk about this. As far as progression in Doom Tower, there are also niche champions. Now, Lady Annabelle is good in other places. I'm not saying that she's not, okay? But for me, and what I'm going to do on this account, Lady Annabelle will likely only be used to beat Baumel. On this account, I don't really see myself going out of my way to use Lady Annabelle in any other way on this account. Same on my main account. That's why I say that. She only does Bommel on my main account. That's the only reason I built her. Okay? If we're talking Doom Tower hard progression, you're talking about building champions with a singular purpose only to progress through Doom Tower hard. There are still areas of the game elsewhere that I need to progress, okay? So again, if we're talking about progression in Doom Tower hard, I want to be clear about what we're talking about. We're talking about building a rare because it's the only good cleanser I have on the account right now until I get Mithrala, and building a Lady Annabelle to be able to do Doom Tower hard Bommel in the whenever that rotation comes up. I haven't paid attention. I don't know what rotation we're on or any of that. I just know that he will be coming soon. So please understand that like I'm not I'm not sitting there saying I'm never going to do it, okay? Back to my point that I was trying to make. This one's not so bad. Bannerlord's not so bad. That's 43 stars. That is the most stars that I have anywhere, right? Orc, 10 stars, right? 11 stars in Lizardmen. I am not getting the gear. So let's say, for instance, that I built... I don't really know who would be a good example of the champions that I'm kind of talking about, but Armand's is a perfect example. I need speed and accuracy on Armand's for him to be good, right? We can agree to that. What set gives speed and accuracy? Oh, perception set. Well, guess what? I don't get to make as much perception set as I should be making right now because I don't get to farm it at the difficulty where I get these legendary pieces. And I don't craft the 4 to 5 star ones. I wait till I get the 5 to 6 star ones because the 4 to 5 star ones use the rare materials which I need for the 5 to 6 star ones. And obviously, it's disproportionate how many epic pieces I have compared to the legendary pieces, but still, I've done it before where I crafted all this crap and then I was stuck here not being able to craft. I don't want to put myself in that position, guys. So I'm waiting to craft good perception gear for my account. Where do you get those crafting materials? From Faction Wars. The only thing I can think of is that you guys didn't realize how neglected Faction Wars is truly been on this account. That's really the only thing I can think of. And so I'm being honest with you guys. I have been neglecting Faction Wars hard. The only reason this faction is as good as it is because I have 3 champions that are actually geared. Lady Annabelle does have gear on her. I don't usually do that for sub 50 or for sub 60 characters. I've explained why I don't like that in the past, but she does have some good gear on her because I think she soloed Bommel for me. Well, no, she didn't. Not at 50 unless it took 2 hours, but still, everybody relax. Like it seemed very aggressive, as if I was somehow saying that Doom Tower Hard sucked for rewards or something. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. What I'm saying is I am going to build champions that will help me in Faction Wars, right? So I can get resources to get perception gear. And I still stand by everything I said about Hydra. I think Hydra rewards are still good, and you have to understand, yes, I can compete right now. I can get 2 normal chests, okay? Max chests. That's 8 of these. Well, one of those 8 is Mithrala fragments, right? So 7 chances at gear that can be 5 stars or higher and blue or higher. How much stone skin gear do I currently have? I'm curious. I didn't look at this before I started the video. So let's look at how much stone skin gear I currently have. Okay, not too bad, but how much of this is actually good, right? Let's see. We have accuracy and survivability HP, but no speed. Not a big fan of that piece. We have HP percent accuracy resistance, good for maybe a tanky champion, right? Crit damage accuracy, not a great piece, not a great piece. You know, a lot of this stuff is being kept simply because I'm just looking for a good piece now. Oh, okay, so speed here, but still no accuracy. There we go. I've got something with attack percent, crit rate, crit damage, and speed. Wow, that's actually a really good piece. So one piece, I went through all of this, and one of them was even mythical. And aside from a tanky champion that I would want to be slow, which you usually do want that, maybe not always, but you do like slower. There are certain champions, I'll say, that you like to be slower and in uh, stone skin so they don't lose the buff. But yes, stone skin gear, I'm getting it, but is it good? I mean, that's the question that needs to be asked. And so far, like I only have one chest piece right now. One gauntlets, and they're crit damage gauntlets with no crit rate underneath them and defense stats. I don't have any defense based nukers right now. So I would love. So here we go. This is decent. Speed and accuracy, stone skin. So that's speed, accuracy, and HP if you want to think about it that way. So not so bad. But one of the best sets for PvP still, even now, even is I don't have I have pieces, but they're not good. So I want to farm and farm. I want to farm multiple levels of that, right? I would love to get 4 Hydra chests and do 35 million or higher damage and have a chance because I'm in a clan that can do it and have a chance to get Hydra Clash rewards too, which again are primal quartz, mythical skill tomes, clan gold, which can buy me skill tomes and buy me shards depending on what is in the shop that week. Buy me silver, buy me energy. And then of course we have accessories for stone skin and protection, which are huge. I understand if you guys believed that I was naive enough to say, oh, I'm not going to do Doom Tower hard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the rewards you can get in Hydra are good too. And there's no reason for me to not also build stuff for Hydra. But I didn't say I was going to do. I am now, by the way. And we'll talk about that. That was the main. That's what today's video was supposed to be about. But I am going to do a Hydra, and I would like to progress higher in Hydra and get more rewards and get more gear on the account. And I don't think that that's a mistake to want to progress. By the way, I love Hydra. Like, just if you pause for a moment and think about the fact, let's take the content creation out of it. Let's take the advice game out of it. Let's take all of that out of it. And let's talk about a guy who plays a video game and wants to have fun. I love Hydra. It's one of my favorite areas of the game. I know most of you probably don't like it or don't do this, but I sit down and I play Hydra for several hours a week because I manual every fight that I do. Over on my main account, oops, sorry guys. On my main account, if we look at my brutal, 196, I manualed that. And then I'll admit I could have got a higher score, but I stopped because I got some bad RNG. Somebody got eaten and a poison cloud went off or something. Something prevented me from freeing them, which was very inconvenient. Just the nature of the fight. And I decided to stick with 196 million. But on a 3 times multiplier, that's still a lot of points. So that was almost 600 million points. And then I did another 114 on hard and another 180 on normal. And the other reason that I do brutal instead of nightmare is because my clan can kill brutal and I'm helping my clan get double rewards. That's on my main account. Obviously, you can see we're probably going to get second place in Hydra Clash. So I like doing Hydra. And I like Doom Tower as well, but for the most part, especially with the auto climb feature now, I click a button and I let it go. And then I come back and I either manual the fight if it's tough, or I auto it with a preset team that I used last week. So, again, I want to be very clear. I totally get where you guys are coming. I keep saying you guys, but who knows if other people had the same opinion, right? I get where people were coming from regarding my statements. It's very easy to hear my words. One last thing I want to say about it too. I was not in the right mental state to probably stream last night. I just watched my team get swept in the playoffs. I was devastated. I was upset. I was angry. And I was coming in here maybe a little hotter than I should have yesterday and maybe didn't speak and say the things that I wanted to say. And I apologize for that, truly. And I apologize if I misled you guys or made you think I'm just going to ignore Doom Tower Hard. That's not what I'm doing, okay? Maybe I'm ignoring this rotation because I'm not building Reliquary Tender. And truth be told, I'm not building champions fast enough on this account, quite frankly. But all of this is about to change 1 month from now. Everything changes in a month. I have so much more free time. I can dedicate free time to actively playing this game, using my energy minute by minute almost, and grinding out and getting a bunch of champions leveled. And we're going to see a drastic, I feel like, progression in the account. So relax. It's the last thing I'm going to say on it. Let's move on to the fun stuff. I'm so excited. I did decide to pull Void Shards on my account yesterday. Why did I do that? I'll touch on it here a little bit. I touched on it in the last video as well, but in case you're new or haven't seen it, because I have 5 Sacreds now, I felt like I could pull Void Shards and still complete a summon rush for Wixwell whenever his fusion starts. So I feel confident enough in that fact. I'm also going to gain more shards between now and then and give me even more resources in that department. So I'm totally okay doing this. Or pulling those Void Shards. And while I did not get my first Void Legendary like I had hoped, I did pull a monster epic. Now, everybody knows Inquisitor Shamil is super good for Hydra. Let's talk about why. So for those of you that haven't done Hydra or haven't progressed in Hydra, there is a head that will spawn or start that whenever it is damaged, it puts fear onto the attacker. Well, what does Inquisitor Shamil do? Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear debuff from an enemy, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the team leader's turn meter by 15%. Also, each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. What makes this so good? Well, let's be clear. Let's talk about what makes this so good. If you have a team leader like Deacon, like Arbiter, or even better, Lady Kimmy, Nekmo Thar, the Estrid, if you have a champion like that and fear is constantly going out and he's taking that and turning into 15% turn meter, that champion who gives turn meter to your team can go and go and go and go and go and go. So a lot of teams, these are regular teams, not crazy Trundle teams or anything like that. A lot of regular teams will use Inquisitor Shamil as a battery for your team. He just gets those turns going. And you can pump out a lot more debuffs. You can pop out your provokes more. You can do all kinds of crazy things with Shamil just generating that turn meter nonstop. And I personally am thrilled to have Inquisitor Shamil pulled, and he's likely going to be my next 6-star now instead of Yakarl. And I also want to talk about Shamil and his other uses. Everyone knows about, or well, not everyone, you may not know, but most people know about his uses in Hydra. But this man can smack, and people don't talk about it enough. Now, you have to be careful when you're building Shamil. If you want him for Hydra, you kind of don't want him to smack. Depending on the comp of your team, if he hits too hard, it's here, sorry. So on the A1, every time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, he uses a skill against that enemy. These counterattacks will only deal 50% of normal damage and cannot be critical, but if you build him really strong, he can still hit maybe a little too hard and can potentially burn your battery head down. So you kind of want to leave the fear head alive so that you can generate that Shamil turn meter. At least that's my understanding. That's what I go with. But he does smack, and right here you'll see why. So this is a triple hitter. It'll ignore 25% of the target's defense outright. We'll ignore a further 25% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. So 3 buffs, true damage. And then places a True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. You'd be surprised at how often that happens. Now, I won't be able to show it off, but my Sacred Order team on the main account, I'm on the main account now. Yeah, I won't be able to show it off, but my Sacred Order team runs both of my Shamils, and they burn it down surprisingly quick. This ability is also really, really good in Arena, quite frankly. You can use this to take out and do true damage to some really tanky champions. And then, by the way, I forgot to mention something about the A1. We talked about how he auto does counterattacks when debuffs are placed, but it also has a 50% chance, which is 75% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. So in Hydra, this is great. If they steal your buffs or if they give themselves buffs, he can actually reduce those cooldowns, and he can do the same thing in Arena. Especially if they're placing a bunch of debuffs and he's counterattacking, he can potentially reduce those. Now, he needs accuracy to do this, so going that route can make him a little bit harder to build, but yeah, he's an amazing good champion, and he'll be good for me in many different places. I'm kind of thinking about using him in Tag Team Arena in particular. If I really wanted to, he could probably be my second DPS over Kale on my Arena team. Go with him and go for some single target hitting, combined with, so we'd have some turn meter reduction, I'm sorry, not turn meter reduction. We'd have some defense ignore, and then obviously all these abilities, and we can't get feared. The team won't be able to be feared. So there is some real value to Inquisitor Shamil all over this account. I was gonna talk about one other thing, but I think I'm gonna make a separate video for it, just because this video is a little bit too long, and I'm very excited about it, and this video kind of has a negative connotation. So, in summary, Shamil's awesome, and I will try to be more careful about how I choose my words. I'm not ignoring Doom Tower Hard. I will be doing it, okay? When we get Mithrala, I really don't see any way I get stopped in Doom Tower Hard. Truly, I don't. Even because we also have Seer for wave clear as well. So we're going to have Armands controlling the waves. We're going to have... Nope. Is he Sacred Order? No, he's Banner Alerts. Whoops. Man, I cannot click to save my life. We're going to have Archmage Helmet bringing all of these buffs to remove. As well as being immune to turn meter control and stunning the enemy team and decreasing their turn meter. So we're gonna have a lot of. I think we're gonna do good against the waves, and I think we're going to do good against the bosses with Newt. There are some bosses that Newt may not, be the best for, but as far as I know, he's in all of my teams on Doom Tower Hearts. So I'm not really worried about it. Okay, guys. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.